Yeah, obviously just extremely proud of our football team. It was a really hard-fought game. But both teams really competed hard. I think anybody in the stadium today could have seen that, and just really proud of the way the guys hung in there against a very good football team. It was more than 60 minutes, obviously, and took basically every play out there. And outside the turnover, you can throw all the stats out the window. It was just a hard-fought, one of those tough games.
Talk about your defense.
I think they're growing, and they played extremely hard today. We seemed like we gave up a pass each direction, but outside of that, I thought they really competed, and we started out in really adverse circumstances, held them to 3, which is a positive, and just thought they played hard all day long, and to win on a turnover there at the end, outstanding, and probably appropriate that kind of an unsung guy was really the trigger guy there, Louis Trickavazat, getting his hand on the ball, and so that's kind of a fitting way because he's really been working hard.
He hit it at the kind of
just slightly tipped it, and took the ball out of flight a little bit, so gave us a chance to get the pick.
How's Mark?
What do you think of your team's drive there in the fourth quarter to tie it up?
Again, it was a game where we weren't at halftime. I can't even imagine what those stats looked like really up until that drive, and that in the last probably series there was the story of the game because we started out first and 25 with not a lot of time on the clock. And we really hadn't done much up to that point. So, James hitting Keenan, huge play, get us out of the hole. And then great call on that 3rd and 6, whatever it might have been, 3rd and whatever. And a heck of a run by Mark Weissman. And then, Mark finished it off, another good call by Craig. So, it just, if anybody saw the game, you take those 2 plays out, how did Weissman get 100 yards? But that's football, too. That's just sticking with it. And, Mark's a tough competitor.
How is that, Coach, where you felt the momentum turn a bit?
Yeah, I felt the turn when it was 1st and 25. I was, oh boy, that's not good. And so just, huge play. We have made many big plays today, so that huge play by James and Keenan down the boundary. And then that 3rd down thing, we were playing for 2 downs there, so we took a shot at the run, and Mark not only got the first down, but then really impacted the game. So those 2 plays, that gave us momentum. Certainly, we got the ball down inside.
How is Mark, Coach?
They said it's a bump right now. We'll know more tomorrow. But he couldn't push off.
Bump on his ankle.
Lower leg. The lower leg.
Kirk, I apologize if you answered this, but how important on a day like this wet, low-scoring game is Mike Meyer on that 42-yarder?
Yeah, I haven't talked about that, and I gladly will. Mike is, as I've been saying, he's really, nobody ever gets there, but he really turned the corner from a confidence standpoint, maturity standpoint back in spring, and just, really started performing, I think, the way we all hoped he would. He's been good, the prior 2 years, but, so we don't take it for granted, but boy, his execution was flawless, and you got to give credit to Kreider getting the ball back there. Casey's done a great job, and then Wanky getting it down. So those 3 guys working together, it's boy, not underestimating that. It's big in the game.
Kirk, on a milestone day like this for you, 100 wins with the program, to have unsung players come up with big plays, to come back with guys kind of scrutinized under the radar at times. I mean, what does it mean for you personally to have that happen?
Yeah, I don't know about scrutiny, and I don't pay attention to scrutiny, and I don't know about our players. What we've tried to do is focus on what's right in front of us and getting better, and that's what this game's all about, and that's what it teaches you. So, you got to have some mental toughness to do that, because every day's not going to go the way you want. Certainly, every play's not going to go the way you want. And today was a great illustration of that. We had some tough circumstances, but the guys hung in there and kept working. And I thought we improved during the course of the game in a lot of areas, and we're growing as a football team right now based on the last 2 weeks, but I guarantee there's nothing moving forward. But as far as whether it was 100th or 10th, this is a game I'll remember for a while, just because of the way the guys battled and stuck with it.
Assume Coach Parker probably will too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his school, and I think like all of us, anywhere we've come from, we have strong feelings, a lot of appreciation for you, where you've had a chance to grow and develop a little bit. So. It's been a tough series historically against these guys. Last 6 years, no different, but historically, it just seems like it's every time we play these guys, it's a tough game.
Talk about James Vandenberg a little bit. Looked like a rough day against a very good defense.
Yeah, first of all, this is a good defensive team, and they're good against the run, good against the pass, and we're not there, but weather, all those things. you know, you get in games like that, we've had them in the past where, again, stats really don't mean a lot other than protecting the football. And in this series, it's been huge, at least the last 6 years. Ironically, we were dead even in 09 when we were here, and today I think we're both -1. So, you know, direct parallel there. But other than that, in this series, the team that turns it over the most is usually the team that loses.
To sum it up, it had to be not only the memory bank, but you go over some of the highlights.
Sum it up is good. I'm ready to sum it up. And yeah, the biggest thing is just the way our guys fought and competed, you know, right to the end. Because they weren't going away. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And but I think our guys answered the same way. They said they weren't going away either. And you know, it's one of those games that, you know, last guy standing. So it's just a real great effort by our guys.
James, you struggled at times throwing the ball, but then he also came up with that huge pass. It was a perfect pass, perfect catch, crucial situation. I mean, that's
if I could only pick one play, I'd probably pick that one, because we were you know, wasn't like we were clipping out a lot of first downs today. At least I haven't looked at the sheet, but I know it was hard making a first down for a long time. So to overcome a 1st and 25, plus get the ball out there in midfield range, and that enabled us to be in a 4-down mode, which we were in on that 3rd down conversion. So, you know, we wouldn't have been from down our end. We would have had to punt it out there. So that was a huge play. That was a play of the game.
Who keeps the offense confident when you're doing 3 and outs and not moving?
Well, I think the quarterback's got a lot to do with that. You know, I really do. And there are other guys too. But, you know, the coach's role, you know, everybody's just kept coaching. You know, we've all been around this game. And, you know, you have games where it goes back and forth. The ball goes up and down the field. And you have other games like this where yards are really tough to come by. And you just have to believe in what you do and what you're doing. You got to believe in who you are, and then hopefully somebody steps up and does something. That's what happened today.
In a game like this against a team that runs the ball as physical as they are, is this kind of where Reese Morgan, he earned his salary? I mean, based on
Reese has been earning it for more than earning it for 11 years. I'm so feel so appreciative he's on our staff. So you know, that part's great. And really, in a lot of ways, this game's a lot like, you know, a couple of years ago when we were up here. You know, neither team was a defensive ball game. They hit one big run play, the guy to get it down in there, and then they hit the pass on us. But it's, yeah, it's that kind of game. But our guys are gaining confidence up front because they're playing better. They're working hard. You know, they're earning.
I mean, guys, you know, blue streak of the side almost split. All this big act moving around or injured. Just put them all together in the way they play is hard.
I mean, that's football, you know, and it's Pat Anger's story like Louis. And but again, if you don't stick with it and don't try, nothing's going to happen. You know, the guys have done that. And, you know, Reese has directed them.
Kirk, can you compare the toughness of Meyer to a guy like, find a benchmark like Kading mentally? He was so tough as a kicker.
Yeah, that's to be a really good kicker. And you know, be good at any position. But you think about kickers, relief pitchers, corners. You know, you got to have a short memory, and you got to really be able to bounce back when things don't go your way. And you got to work at it. I mean, to be good at those things, you got to work at it. And I think they're really comparable. And Nate did a lot of things well, but the beauty of Nate Kading was his mental approach, and still is. And I think Mike's developing that. And he's always good, but he's hard enough.
How has this team been able to go 2-0 since that loss against Central Michigan?
You know, you can't afford to look back. You know, you learn from what you go through, good or bad, and we're going to have to do the same thing this week. Because this one took a lot out of us, and that loss took a lot out of us a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, you handle that on Sunday, and then you got to move on. If you don't, you're going to get buried. And you know, we're going to have to do the same thing this coming weekend. You know, tomorrow and Monday. Got to turn the page.